So this is a video that we are playing from the internet, and we don't know the exact details about who published this, but we acknowledge their right and their publishing rights. And we shall be doing this, as we said before, we shall be doing this by directly contacting them, asking for their permission to let us play this. Other- This one is another one that we started playing at the beginning. Published from Kolkata. This is one of the compositions of the Nazrul. Either he was in jail, put there by the British, or he had just finished the prison. This is unique. This is unique and absolutely unbelievably neglected by the majority of the cultural establishment in Bangladesh. In 1971, three radio stations, three channels claiming to be representative of the people. The reigning Pakistan radio, the All India radio, and this still clandestine Shadid Bangla Bethar Kendra, all of them played any number of Nazrul's rebel poetry, all of them. And they could not be more different from one another. And yet all they say, everyone said that they all owed and identified with Nazrul's compositions. So this one's credit I'm just reading. This is Shoban Ganguly, or music arrangement by Khoodeelaar, the Ganguly, music program by Shabood Ashish, recorded, mixed, and mastered by M. Bhavesh at Studio Impression, cinematography and direction by Shubhadi, arts and joined by Mandar B. Appears to be all in Calcutta, but they don't enter Calcutta. That's all. There is nothing comparable to Nazrul's writing. This particular one, there is not one single number that I have heard, or composition I have heard or read that compares with Nazrul's spirit. So it's not good enough to call him the national poet of Bangladesh. His anthems must be played with full force and full dedication, and they must be played now and forever. This is part A of the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet, not on the terrestrial, not on cable. And this is the part A of the Khoodeelaar television channel broadcast from the Bennett of Baby Angel Geronimo. So we have got a previous to Baby Angel Geronimo connection in Gloucester. We had Hogan Anthony Bennett, who the Gloucestershire Live has reportedly acknowledged posthumously after he died as the Black town crier of Gloucester. Now, Hogan Bennett approached me as part of his business in Brick Lane in London, where he met me as a customer. I bought a book from him, I think in 2009, and I bought the book, probably a book about the law. And I asked him about this, and he explained. And he told me that he was from Gloucester, which was very rare. From Gloucester to come to Brick Lane was very rare indeed. And given that Hogan Bennett was suffering from a number of quite persistent illnesses, and he could hardly walk properly, this was an ambitious scheme, and he was determined to make a kind of case, if you like, as a businessman on the Sundays in Brick Lane, Sunday market in Brick Lane. But the local Tower Hamlets Council harassed him endlessly for years. And it was the harassment by Tower Hamlets Council that he wanted me to help him about. And the discussion about how they harassed him and why they harassed him and their lying and lies will be continued in this program, in this channel, not on this particular edition, but. And when I explained to him what I did, and I put to words his kind of experience, Hogan Bennett was more than once moved to tears as I quoted one of the items that he sent me as an email in 2017. This is the one. Dear Muhammad, you have left me speechless. You are the best, as I have said before, that you are sent from God. I am Going to court today after reading your email. I was laughing and still reading and just burst into tears, crying for what you stand for. Now, this is the court, one of the courts that I briefed Hogan Bennett to attend, remotely briefed by telephone and by email from London. And he did his best to represent his case, but the judges were not happy at all, especially the judge in the Gloucester County Court was very unhappy because the strength of the argument that Hogan Bennett put forward against the defendants or the Gloucester's City Homes. I'll check that one, what the actual name is of the organization. It was so powerful and persuasive that the judge, who was brainwashed into taking the side of the establishment, didn't want Hogan Bennett to proceed because he was not a lawyer and he was not white. So the judge thought that he should not be given the credit that he would easily be given had he been white. So let's find out if we can find one of the emails that I sent to him. This is the one that he sent me in the email. This is Tuesday, 30th of May 2017 at 10:27 a.m. Hogan Bennett sent the email. Dear Muhammad, you have left me speechless. You are the best. As I have said before, that you are sent from God. I'm going to court today after reading your email. I was laughing and still reading and just burst into tears, crying for what you stand for, and still crying and going to court. All I can do is thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you have done. And well, he says he is still doing, we should be, are still doing. May the good Lord continue to keep and bless you in the work that you do in fighting for justice. Now, that was the email he timed at 10:27. And my email to him, which he was replying to, was 9:50, 10 to 10. 10 to 10 on the same morning. Now, this is what my email had said. Urgent communication written by Muhammad Haque at 9:20 hours on Tuesday, 30th of May, 2017 on behalf of Mr. Hogan Bennett, and sent in this email for the attention of the court manager, Gloucester County Court, for the hearing due at 11 hours today in the action against Mr. Hogan Bennett, brought by Gloucester City Homes. Yes, that's what they're called. To be read in evidential and constitutional law context of my 30 previous communications sent to the court and served on Miss Jo Kelly at Gloucester City Homes and her line management in the past 2 months. Mr. Hogan Bennett's consolidated statement of claims against Gloucester City Homes. This is to confirm that Mr. Hogan Bennett has confirmed all his claims in the communications that I, Muhammad Haque, have been making on his behalf. In addition to the statements and communications Mr. Hogan Bennett has himself been making both in court and to the Gloucester City Homes and their various personnel. Mr. Hogan Bennett has complied with the order in the main and is actively doing anything minor that needs to be attended to. He can do that very smoothly if he is left alone by the harassers and lawbreakers at the Gloucester City Homes. The timing of the communications has been a function of the continuing negligence, malice, and prejudice being pursued by Gloucester City Homes as their agenda of harassment against Mr. Hogan Bennett has been evident in the deception and contempt of court behavior by Miss Jo Kelly on Friday, 27th of May 2017. Miss Jo Kelly lied to Mr. Hogan Bennett and she misled him during the visit on Friday, 27th of May 2017, and she broke the court order. The court order did not mention nor imply that she was to be allowed in to see the place and then use that permission as a cover to trap Mr. Hogan Bennett in signing away his rights without considering or being able to consider the implications of what he was being tricked into signing. In the 2 months of regular communications to Miss Jo Kelly on behalf of Mr. Hogan Bennett, I have made it very plain what the issues are as far as the wrongdoing agenda and the wrongs being done by Gloucester City Homes against Mr. Hogan Bennett. At no stage has Miss Jo Kelly engaged on the evidence, and at no stage has she even queried any of the assertions that I have evidentially solidly made against her and against Gloucester City Homes. I have used plural to remove any doubt as to who I was addressing in context. In the 2 days, Thursday and Friday, 26th and 27th of May 2017, I received a strange claim that I had not appeared in court with Mr. Hogan Bennett. I had never said, suggested, indicated, implied, let alone undertaken, a far less had any obligation or legal duty to do so at all at any stage whatsoever. That diversionary insinuation by Miss Jo Kelly and Gloucester City Homes was a deliberate one to deflect real attention from the Gloucester City Homes' wrongful agenda against Mr. Hogan Bennett. How the hell was I supposed to go to Gloucester from London, where I had ongoing activities every day? I was doing the same thing, instructing, advising, and engaging with people in addition to engaging and communicating with Hogan Bennett. This is what I've been doing for decades. That diversionary insinuation by Miss Jo Kelly and Gloucester City Homes was a deliberate one to deflect real attention from Gloucester City Homes' wrongful agenda against Mr. Hogan Bennett. I asked Miss Jo Kelly to point to me the law under which I had a duty to appear in court with Mr. Hogan Bennett. She failed to point to any law at all. Instead, she sent a banal statement that did not have any substance at all. She craftily concealed what she was plotting at that same time, too, to snare Mr. Hogan Bennett into signing away his rights while she kept me in the dark about about that part of her plot, in the full knowledge that as Mr. Hogan Bennett's rights advocate, rights consultant, rights advisor, namely myself, Muhammad Haque, with whom she was in intense contact of her own accord and not at my invitation whatsoever. At that time, she owed the duty at various levels to disclose all her intentions. She chose to make those diversionary, evasive, illegally conceived contracts as part of her illegal and wrongful deflection strategy so that she would keep me unaware of her plot while making Mr. Hogan Bennett lose my support and advice and the opportunity to defend himself against her assault on his rights she was already embarked on within less than 2 hours of her having finalized her last email to me that afternoon. That Miss Jo Kelly was being allowed to do that by her line management at GCH is clear because all Mr. Hogan Bennett's substantive claims communications, as written by me, had been sent by me to them at all times in the months preceding the Friday, 27th of May 2017. That their so-called professional lawyers were being as evasive and wasting as much of my time as they could contrive to do showed that type legal evasive and her own line management were roped in to aid and abet a criminal enterprise to deliberately criminalize an innocent, disabled, much harassed man who had been battling to stop being harassed out of his home of 33 years by a cabal of prejudiced, wrongful, and vindictive persons who could not bear the idea of allowing a black man to be left alone and be at home in Gloucester, England, the very town of his birth. So Miss B. Gilbert made a patently false pretext about my being needed to talk to her on the phone instead of her addressing the dozens of communications which I had spelled out the claims of Mr. Hogan Bennett against this GCH, her clients. What stopped her from sending her queries in an email instead of going off to doing a most banal series of alleged activities, including allegedly writing to me by post? And she allegedly most unwisely not getting my reply whilst she was aware of my very rigorous emails and answers, assertions in them. So there is a long email, which is what Hogan Bennett actually read and commented on and was moved to tears by. And I refer there to the case of the AA versus the Southern County Council. And this is one of the emails that I sent, but I mean this is the kind of thing that I have been doing for a very long time for people without charging anything. And nobody, no licensed law trader could write this, could do this, and can ever do that and do that without even asking for any retainer, any fees, any costs. And I did that in good faith, and Hogan Bennett appreciated all of that. And that is what this has been about now. In the local area in Tower Hamlets, in addition to Hogan Bennett being helped against the behavior of Tower Hamlets Council harassers, I've helped people stay out of prison without going to court, without going to any court whatsoever. And this is what I do. This is something I do uniquely. I'm not doing this only about Tower Hamlets. I'm doing it about other areas as well. I have done work covering all aspects of the law. And I've done that without any charges, any fees, anything to do with any profit for me or for the organization. Now, this is 28 minutes and we shall be putting this one. This is part A, so we shall continue in the next editions.